You are welcome to be here, and please, it's not about you, it's not about me, and it's really not even about Brother Eatmon, but it's about the work the Lord has laid before him, and amen, and he needs an encouragement today as he prepares to exercise and show forth the gift, amen, that God has given him to share with the rest of the world. It is on here as a welcome but I'm basically giving some instructions and the purpose of this service again is for Brother Eatmon to come forth and to in an exemplary way show this audience and those that are witnesses here the calling that the Lord has laid upon his heart. Now, as pastor, I've been talking to him on a weekly basis, and I told him this is the easiest one right here. Amen. You on glass today, ice, and you gonna slide right on past it. You sneeze twice, they're gonna say amen on this one. Amen. But on tomorrow, amen. Let's put your teeth out today, brother. Amen. You're gonna have to work after today. You've got friends and families here, amen. They're not trying to hurt you. Amen. I can assure you that they're here because they love you and they support you. They want you and your wife to know that they're here, love you, and support you all. Amen? Amen. And I do understand and realize we've got a lot of professional instructors out in the congregation. Amen. Unless you are a pastor, amen. Please don't give them any advice. Leave them alone. Let God instruct them. Let God lead them. I know you have a desire and they want or need to, but don't. Leave them alone. Amen. God will govern that. God will control that. Amen. He knew about James before James was born or even thought of. And amen. If he knew about James then, he already knew who James would marry. Amen. And he prepared her. Amen. And he has prepared his children. Amen. So don't you play God. Let him handle that all by himself. Amen. You just be supportive of what is laid before them. Amen. Glad to have all these ministers on the roster with me today as well. To my right is Brother Cook. Amen. I'm going to let the speaker of the day, if he desires to speak a little bit further in the introduction, but I'm glad to have Brother Cook here with us. Also our own Reverend Sawyer, Dr. Sawyer behind me on my right, and our own Charles Wells is also here on my left, and that young man sitting in that chair is Pastor Green. And me and him go way, way back. And we go all the way back to when I had black hair. Do I need to say the other part of this? Amen. He had hair. Amen. I had to see we were both ordained into the ministry at the exact same day on the same panel. Amen. Along with Reverend Crowley and Reverend Randy LaFleur. Amen. All of us were ordained together. And so it's been a while since I've seen him. But God bless him. Still in the ministry, still serving as well. So we just thank and praise God for him being here as well. And to all of the family, I don't know if there are any other ministers. If they're not, to all of the family members, again, be supportive. To Pleasant Green Church members, to our officers, deacon, and the male choir, musicians, and directors, and mothers, we thank you for being here as well. Amen. And so at this point in time, we're going to yield to our male choir for a song. After that, we will have Brother Eric Big Jim. All right, that one back there. All right. He said it, I didn't. Amen. He's there. We're going to ask him to come forward to introduce someone that everybody already knows. Amen. He may introduce him from a different perspective. Our speaker, Brother James Eatmon. Following that is not on your program, but it's in your hearts. Amen. We're going to take up a love offering that will be given directly to him. Amen. To help him, it is what they have always referred to as to help him get started with his books and with his commentaries and his material that he's going to need, because after he does his first sermon, for some strange reason, everybody else in the world thinks he knows every verse in the Bible. Amen. He has every scripture. You just call off a scripture off the top of your head and start quoting. You expect him to know exactly where it is. So to help him get to that point, we're going to help him get him some material, amen, that he can study by. And so we encourage him in that. So we be prepared also to do an offering at the end following his message. After his message, we will allow him to come back and again acknowledge all of his family or whoever, or if he desires to do it at that time, he's welcome to do so at that time. But at this time, we'll hear from our choir to come in their own way, bless our hearts and song, and followed by Brother Michael.
And I'm working to see the Lord. Yes, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to heaven. It's hard sometimes. I'm on my way to heaven. Still I'm on my way. I'm on my way to heaven. Keep an eye on me. I'm on my way to heaven. Yes, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to heaven. Say, Our Father, I'm on my way to heaven, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. I'm on my way to heaven. I keep working to the Lord.
Initially, I was going to tell y'all all different types of stories about him, and my wife told me no. So, I'm just going to keep it straightforward. Just going to start off with one of my favorite scriptures. It was actually when Joshua was speaking to the people after they had taken over the promised land. He said, "If you see me wanting you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But for me and my house, we will serve the Lord."
All right, all right.
And I chose that because I've known James for about 25 years.
All right.
And from the time we were young to this time, I would have to say he's always been a good friend. But he's somebody that I could tell up front truly wants to do good by God. So I think he's going to be able to deliver the word properly. And I think he'll continue to do what he does all the time. He's a good husband, good father, and just a good person in general. So I just want to introduce to y'all James Eatmon.
All right.
We're going to sing just 2 verses of Amazing Grace as we prepare him. We're going to have my wife sing a song, and then we're going to say amen.
Y'all see, he doesn't like to follow instructions. I found out right after service today that Sister Eatmon wanted me to do this song. And it is one that is a testimony of mine that, and I know Brother James is going, if he has not already experienced it, I know he's going to experience it, going through some things that he's not going to know which direction he's going to want to go or have to go or what he's going to do. But I always say, Donna McClurkin says it best, just stand. If you stand, everything else is going to work out all right because God's going to make sure that it does. So, it seems like it is. We have a lot of fun in my household, I want y'all to know.
turn away, you're all alone, alone. Tell me, what do you give when you've given your all and it seems like you can't make it through? Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand, watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Tell me, how do you handle the guilt of your past? Tell me, how do you deal with the shame? And how can you smile while your heart has been broken and filled with pain, filled with pain? Tell me, what do you give when you're giving your all, yeah, yeah, and it seems like you can't make it through? Child, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand and watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure, be not entangled in that bondage again. You just stand and endure. God has a purpose. Yes, God has a plan. Tell me, what do you do when you've done all you can and it seems like you can't make it through? Child, you just stand. You just stand, stand. Don't you dare give up through the storm. Stand through the rain, through the hurt, yeah. Stand through the pain. Don't you bow, and don't you bend. Don't give up. Don't give in. Hold on. Just be strong. God will step in, and it won't be long after you've done all you can. After you've done all you can. After you've gone through the hurt, and after you've gone through the pain, after you've gone through the storm, after you've gone through the rain, you prayed and cried, you prayed and cried, you prayed and you cried, you prayed and you cried, my Lord. After you've done all you can, you just stand. Oh, you just stand.
How are you doing today? I was going to try to follow that with a song, but we ain't going to do that. Put this up. All right, y'all ready? I'm going to actually try to sit still this day. Okay. We're coming from Jeremiah 18, 1 through 6. Jeremiah 18, 1 through 6. When you have it, say amen. Jeremiah 18. 1-6. Y'all got it? All right. I'm reading from the King James Version. And it reads, "The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheel. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in my hands, O house of Israel." And the title of the message is Made by the Hand of God. Made by the Hand of God. Now, it's kind of funny because my friends from state, they probably made fun of me or laughed when I took this class. But I actually took a pottery class. And in the pottery class, I actually got a chance to use the pottery wheel. And for those of you who don't know what the pottery wheel is, basically what it is like a circular tape, and it rotates. And you have a dial on it where you can make it go fast or make it go slow. And you have a foot pedal where you can make it stop and go. And what the potter does, he takes some clay, puts it on the pottery wheel, and makes his vessel. If I want to make a vase, make a vase. If I want to make a cup, I'll make a cup. So there's a relationship we got to kind of understand first. Jeremiah 18, 1-6 is commonly known as the potter and the clay. We are the clay, y'all.
All right.
And God is our potter.
All right.
In Isaiah 64:8, just so y'all believe me, make sure. It says, "Yet you, Lord, our Father, we are the clay, you are the potter, we are the work of your hands."
All right.
Okay. So, all right, I'm sitting there, I've taken this class, got the pottery wheel, you take your clay and you put it on that pottery wheel, and if the potter does nothing to that clay, guess what happens? No.
That's right.
That clay can't mold itself.
All right. Come on, son.
It can't change itself.
Come on, son.
It can just keep going around in circles. And for some of us, that's what we want. We like to be like that. We don't want any hardship in our life. We don't want anything to happen. We just want to keep going like we're going. For some of us, we've been through some stuff. We've been through hardship, loss of a job, loss of a loved one. We've been through some things. We're like, man, I've been through enough in my life. I don't need no more. I understand. But see, we have to understand first, as clay, we are something special. We're the beginning of something special. But that's it. We're the beginning. So we're sitting here with the clay, and we're like, okay, I see these people over here, and they have, and I want to be like them. God, make me like them. Make me special like such and such. Allow me to sing like. And so we sit there and we wonder why God ain't done nothing with us.
Well.
And okay, back to me. I got my pottery wheel. I got my clay on there. And as a potter, I can't do anything to that clay. I can't mold it. I can't do anything. There's something missing. And what's missing, as a potter, what you have to add is a little water. You take the water and you add it to the clay. And what it makes that clay do, it makes it yield to your hand. Okay? So, if God is the potter, and we are the clay, we need something that's going to make us yield to his will.
Okay. All right.
And that is, thank you, Dave. That's this. That's our Bible. If you're going to do what God tells you to do, you have to first know God and understand.
Come on, son.
So, okay. I I'm going to learn. I'm going to read my Bible. I've got to the point to where I kind of understand. All right. God, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to take me, mold me, make me something special. Okay, once again, step back. I'm the potter. I have my pottery wheel. I take my clay, put it on there. Take the water, which is the word, I put it on there. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to build it up, man. I'm going to make it into something beautiful. No.
Well,
What you do, you take your hand and you push down. You put some weight on it. And what that does is it makes that clay open up. And as God, like I said, we don't want to go through anything else. We don't want any trials and tribulations.
all right, come on, son.
But when God started putting that pressure on us, started allowing that weight to be on us,
Yeah.
then He can get us to start coming to Him. As the pastor called it, that Red Sea moment. Some of us need that time where we can't see the way around.
Come on, son. Come on, son.
And so all we can do is fall down and say, Lord, have mercy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. We got the pottery wood. We have the clay. We done added some word to it. We done went through some stuff. We done had some things just buried down on you. And you didn't open up to God. Now you're like, God is ready to build me up. And in our mind, we think He's going to build up our outside. We all are dressed up. We're all looking pretty.
Yes.
Nah. The thing about the clay is you build it from the inside. That outside hand, it's a guiding hand. It's just to keep it under control. That inside hand is what actually builds it. So, okay.
Yeah.
So God cares more about what is in us than what's on us.
All right.
Matthew 23, 25 through 26. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and and excess. Though blind Pharisees, clean first that which is within the cup and the platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. See, for us, we think if we dress up the outside, it's what God is talking about. He ain't talking about that. What He's telling you is to get right first what is in you. That stuff that you do that you know you don't need to be doing. That stuff that you do that God don't want you to do. That stuff that you're trying to let go. Let it go. It's time to get rid of it. And once you do that, then it's not going to come out of you. Those words that you don't need to say around your children, they're not going to jump out your mouth. And that's your cleaning up. It ain't got nothing to do with the nice suit you got on or anything like that. It's about that inside. But hold on. We got to go back to the scripture because I said Jeremiah 18, 1 through 6, right? Okay. So on verse 4, I'm going to reread it. It says, and the vessel that He made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. Marred. I had to look that one up. To distract from the perfection or wholeness of it. An object damaged or flawed in the making. That means it be a defect. It has something wrong with it. Like I said, took a class, had the pottery wheel, had my clay, had the water, and I'm building it up. And there was a part in the clay, it was hard. And so once I got to that part, and I hit it, the clay fell over. And that's kind of like how we are. We'll sit there, and God is building us up. He's taking us in the direction where we want to go. But we have this thing called free will. And sometimes we'll go home and we'll decide we're going to run with the crowd. We don't even run with it. Or we'll decide we're going to go back to some of our old ways.
Yeah.
And you find yourself falling from the hand of God. And so with me as a potter, when the clay would fall, do I throw it away? Do I get rid of it? I can grab another piece. No? And does God do that with us? Does He take us and decide? I've tried once with this person, and I was building them into something special. And they pulled away from me. I'm done with it. No, thank God he don't, because all of us would be all of us would be garbage right now. But what he does, it's like it takes you back to the beginning. Because you pulled away. And if you don't repent and you fall so low, what God does to you is he take that clay and he slowly got to get some word in it. And once you get that word back in you, you start understanding it, then you start back yielding to him. And then you can start back pulling you up into something special. All right. So we got to the point to where we talked about the clay, we talked about building up the clay, we talked about actually the word. I got a story I want to tell y'all. It's called the potter. This potter decided that he was going to make a bowl. And he made this bowl, and the bowl was perfect, flawless. And he etched into the bowl inscriptions and everything, but it was late. And he was like, I can't finish it tonight. I'll put it in the fire tomorrow. And for people that don't know, when you put a bowl in the fire in the kiln, that's it. When it comes out, it's going to be hard, and you can't mold it after that. Okay, so the potter goes to sleep, and when he wakes up, the bowl, something's wrong. He goes to the potting wheel and he's looking. He's like, "What is this? Did I not make a bowl?" And the clay said, "I am a vase." And so the potter looked, and it was all distorted and twisted. And the clay said, "I do not want to be a bowl where people can eat out of me. But I want to be a vase where I sit in the house of kings and lords." The potter said, "But I made you to be a bowl. I made you for a purpose." And so the potter made it into a bowl again. But it was late. And he said, "It's not ready for the fire yet." He woke up that morning, he was hoping that the clay would be satisfied with being a bowl. But he looked again. And this time it was a goblet. And for y'all don't know what a goblet is, it's a drinking cup for kings. The top looks like a bowl, but the bottom is like a glass. And Potter looked at it and he said, "You're too shallow to hold anything. And no king would actually be able to do anything with you. I have to reshape you into a bowl." And the clay was mad, but the potter reshaped it. And this time the potter decided that the bowl was ready to go into the fire. So he takes the bowl and he puts it in the fire, and the whole time the bowl is mad. He takes the bowl out of the fire. And the bowl is like, "What are you going to do with me?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to give you to a friend." And he said, "Give me to a friend? After you've done all this work on me, so am I worthless to you?" And he said, No, I'm giving you to a special friend." And so he gave the bowl to his friend, and the bowl sat on the shelf. Days passed. Then all of a sudden the bowl noticed, like 13 men came in, and the bowl was sitting there looking, and then all of a sudden they grabbed the bowl and took him and put him out there, and he's surrounded by these 13 men. And they filled the bowl up with something, but he couldn't hear good, but he just could see. And so he's looking, and these 13 men, they look like they're having a good time. And then all of a sudden, one man stood up and started talking, and everybody got serious. And then two of them, they dumped their bread in him at the same time. And this one guy, he left out mad, and the rest of them started kind of singing songs of jubilation. And at that point, the bowl realized I had a purpose, and I served my purpose. I say that, but I also attached a thing onto it from Romans 9, 20, and 21. "But who are you?" I got this from the NIV version. But who are you, a human being, to talk back to God?
Amen.
shall what is formed say to the one who formed it, why did you make me like this? Does not the potter have the right to make the same lump of clay, some potters for a special purpose and some for a more common purpose? And see, that's the thing we have to understand. God is the one that has a purpose for us. He's the one that's setting us in course. It's not us. I mean, even though I might want to sing as good as First Lady, if that ain't my purpose, that ain't my purpose. One thing, for some of us, it's hard to take that. Because we might have had a relationship with God and we felt like God is taking us in a direction. And because of our choice, not his, our choice, we pull away from him. And now that we're back with him, we're like, God, you're no longer taking me in that direction, but you're taking me in a totally opposite direction. And it's hard for some of us to understand that. We're thinking that God is taking us away from our dreams. But he's not. He's just giving you a better dream than the one you had. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is I call it the brand of God.
Where?
All of us in here today, we got on some clothes that are made by somebody. And think about it. You are made by God. You have his stamp on. And so one question I want you to kind of keep in your head is, why does a potter make something from clay? Well, why did God make you? What was his purpose for making you? You need to make sure you spend time and talk to him. Understand, because you're here for a reason. And the next thing, some things don't fit in a vessel of God. Don't put ungodly things in a godly vessel. I mean, if you're doing something that you know God don't want you to do, you need to reevaluate your life and your situation. The last thing, when I was, I got my pottery wheel, I got my clay, I got my water, I push down, I build it up, and I'm making my base. During that process, when you first start doing it, when you first get your hands in that clay, guess what it is? It's messy. It's nasty. But the thing is, you start shaping it, and you forget about the mess that you got on you. And you start more so focusing on that creation. And I say this because God is molding you. He's molding you into something special. And that clay that you got, that mess that you have all on God, he's all right with that. Because you're shaking that loose. And he's ready to mold you into something special. Be proud of whose you are. And never miss an opportunity to tell somebody about the power that made you.
Amen.
Anytime the word of God is spoken, it is an opportunity for us to be a witness to the Lord. We extend this invitation.
That you will be able to use it. Senior mission, will you stand please? And I believe Shirley and I brought you a little happy home. So Shirley.
Don't get used to that, because the rest of them will go to your wife now. so enjoy this day all the way around. Amen. Come on, we're going to ask our officer to come as we prepare to receive a love offering. To Brother Eatmon, we're going to ask.
Many disappointments, but I'm still here. Yeah. But through it all, I made it through another what it was, y'all, that brought me through everything. It's by the grace of God that I'm here today. He was always there, no matter what came my way. A very present Him in my time of need, standing right there just to see about me. Oh, I made it all. Another day's journey, one more day, y'all. The Lord, He kept His arms around me. It hasn't been easy, no. I made it, I made it, I made it, made it. Another day's journey. Yeah, Lord. I don't know about y'all, but this is one day that I know I made it. Yeah. Yes, I made it. And I'm still here. Yes, I am, y'all. I made it. Yeah. Yes, I made it. And I'm still here. Sometimes I had to lay awake in the midnight hour, tossing and turning all night long. Yes, I made it. Anybody have to toss and turn all night long? Tears in your eyes, wondering what the next day was gonna bring. But God, He kept His arms around you. Yes, He did. He brought you through your trouble. And I'm still here. I made it. Yes, I made it. And I'm still here. Oh, I made it. Yes, I made it. And I'm still here. Through it all. I'm still here.
Amen. We thank you for what you have done in your giving. We thank our male choir for blessing our hearts. That's just a small portion of them that are up there. And Brother Eatmon calls himself part leader in that group most of the time. Amen. But little do they know, they just kicked him out today. But amen, that is an awesome group and family and a supportive group that we have here. I'm going to allow him to come at this time and recognize and introduce his family, those that are here, and then we will have the benediction thereafter. But there's another group that I would like to recognize that are real close to Brother Eatmon, and that is the couples ministry. With those who participate in the couples ministry, if you would please stand.
Amen.
Now I'm standing, my wife didn't stand. That's okay. Part was in the ministry. Amen. Part of that couples ministry, amen, and we're encouraging them and praying for them. And we're going to ask Sister Hammond, Sister Franklin, Brother Hammond, Brother Franklin. Y'all stand up with the right one now. They have a celebration that's going to occur on tomorrow in their wedding anniversary. Amen. Now, men, how long have y'all been married?
18 years.
Is that right, lady? All right, well, y'all in good shape there. Amen. Let's get our hand. Amen. God bless you. Come on, brother.
Before I do anything, I want to make sure my wife have anything you would like to say. Okay. Thank all y'all for coming. That was going to be everything that I was going to say right there. I was just going to say thank you. I was going to wave my hand. Probably said I can't do that. Said I actually need to recognize some people. So everybody who's family, stand up for me, please. I thank all y'all for coming here, for supporting me. It does mean a great deal. One person I kind of want to put on the spot, who really had they had a really huge impact on my life. And Van and Carney can stand up for me. So what would happen? I'm not just clapping after I'm done. What would happen? I would go to work, and I would come, and I would have something in my head, like something that sounded like it was son of God to say or something, and I would say it, and Van would look at me like, where's that in the Bible? I was like, oh Lord, I gotta be accountable. And y'all, the love that y'all share, everything we do appreciate. Amen. Now, the last person I got to talk about is that big joker that introduced me. Mr. McLemore, will you please stand? His wife had him had him restrained. So I'm gonna tell the story. We were in 7th grade. We were in pre-college together, pretty advanced class in 7th grade. And Eric sat behind me. And I remember talking to Eric every day. Every day. And so when it came time at the end of the year, I failed. I talked to Eric every day. So I was wondering, could I actually take back allowing him to introduce me? Eric, thank you. You did excellent job. You only messed up a couple times. Other than that, thank all y'all for everything y'all done. Y'all have made this blessed. That's all I have. Amen. If y'all don't mind, will you stand for public comment? Refreshments apparently on the other side. It ain't much, but it's good. It's great. My wife made it. Oh yeah, Anna said I need to recognize my mama. Hey mama.
Y'all always forget about the mama.
Right. Is there anybody else I need to recognize? Mother-in-law. Hey, mother-in-law. I love your banana pudding. All right. Y'all ready? All right. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer.